Well, what a chaotic couple of months it's been here at Distillery. Lots of players leaving the club for different reasons, enforced signings as a result of that. Almost no fixtures for 2 months, huge congestion this month, and now we've got 3 games in 4 days. Crucially though, we're still just above the dotted line. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 39 of this Build a Nation save from Distillery with me, Daniel. We are back today for Boxing Day, but the festive cheer is not really here because we've still got a relegation scrap on our hands, but we've also been decimated in terms of the squad as we mentioned in the intro, and we've now got a ridiculous schedule. 3 games in 4 days. What on earth are we supposed to do? If you're looking forward to seeing how we're coping, meeting some new signings and a lot of players that have remarkably left the club, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. I'll warn you in advance, there's going to be a lot more appearances from youth players than you were expecting a little while ago, but we are just above the dotted line. And if you look at the table now, ahead of the first game today against Dargview, we're picking and choosing the games we want to win. We've had one remarkable result, the best one of the season in the last game, and as a result of that, we are 5 points clear of the playoff place and 14 clear of Dargview, who we face today. So if we get anything other than a defeat away at them today, I do feel that we will be safe from 12th place, which is objective ticked. 11th and the playoff for relegation is very different. So let's start with the transfers, because there are a lot more players in and out outside of the transfer window than I expected there to be. You've seen our success in the last 3 years. The hallmark has been a relatively settled squad during the season. No, not this year. We have had chaos and carnage. 3 players into the club and lots of players who have been released or recalled from their loans. So first, let's deal with the released one. Mark Edgar decided to walk away from his contract on the 5th of November. A lot of the players who had been on loan, who'd been on non-contract terms, they weren't playing matches when we were going once a week. And then when we needed them most, they were no longer there. So Mark Edgar leaves the club. He's been a fairly good servant. The bigger problem, though, is the loan deals, because all of the ones we bought in the summer, bar 2, have been returned to their parent clubs. Wayne Murphy, recalled by Coleraine, made 5 appearances in the first 11 matches for someone I was going to use as a squad player. I don't feel that's that bad, but he's been recalled, not been playing for them at all. I don't know why it's changed back to the year again. Meany and Walker, the 2 from Linfield, have gone as well. I think Meany might have happened in the last episode, but Ian Walker, again, substituting half of our games played in the League Cup. So looking at the squad now, it would have been an awful lot weaker. With injuries, with suspensions, with 2, 3 or 4 games a week as it is this week, we needed reinforcements. But equally, I didn't want to go and spend big money. I didn't want to commit to longer contracts. So I've had to search for the players who, of the options available, gave us the best short-term fixes and squad depth without really tinkering with the first team and adding an awful lot of players to bed in. So I've promoted a couple more youth players, played some more off the bench, and then 3 additions have come into the squad. First and foremost is David McCabe. He is a backup right back and centre half, basically fills the void from Wayne Murphy leaving, and also gives us an option to push other centre halves out to the left. He is a 2.5 star ability right back, 3.5 star potential, not ambitious, not a great personality, but only 18 and he's got potential. So maybe he's someone who can come on strong. He's made 2 appearances. He's on a pay-as-you-play deal, so only getting a little bit of money when he comes on. I'm relatively happy with him. Had a bit of experience at Cliftonville where he did play a lot of games for them the year before last. So maybe he's someone who's got the big potential, maybe just needs a bit of help from that mentoring group. The second one is a very similar situation. Lewis Trickett. He is a 21-year-old Northern Irish winger, had previously been playing in England for the likes of Dulwich Hamlet and Radcliffe, through the Accrington Academy, but didn't really get any football for them. And again, we didn't have a backup left winger to start with, but with him being able to play there, being able to play off the right as well, it just gives us options to juggle people about. Even if it's moving Convey in, even if it's moving McAlatten out to the right, it's options, and we just needed a player. So pay-as-you-play deal, again, won't make many appearances, but while he's here, he's a crucial player in the squad. And Aaron Jarvis is the final one. He's only come in today. There were basically 3 or 4 options for this position. He was the only one that would sign a half-season deal. So he's only here till May. If he does really well, we'll keep him. But 6'2", decent enough physically, and good enough as a centre midfielder. He just ticks a box. He's happy to be on the bench, be a fringe player, played over 200 games for Coleraine at this level. He's got every single thing we need, and on a short-term deal, I believe he makes us stronger. The reason we need to be stronger is the schedule. We've had 5 games already this month and have 3 more in the next 4 days. Then we have 2 in the first 6 days of January, and there's midweek fixtures every single week up until the end of that month. From there, it does calm down a little bit. Once we get past Linfield on the 9th of February, we do get a couple of weeks breather. But of course, that's only if we go out of the cup, which I'll be hoping we don't do. We face bottom side Dargview in that one. In this one, we face them today. But let's have a look at what's happened first since you were last with me. Because in the last episode, we did have that thrilling win against today's opponents. A 4-0 win against Dargview, a narrow 1-goal defeat against Coleraine. You can see a couple of games later, we well and truly lost that, only losing by a goal record. But before that, we did get a pivotal 3-2 win against Crusaders. It was a really odd game. We were a goal down. Matthew Buchanan got sent off, which was the end of his first team experiment. We found ourselves 2-0 down with 15 to go. And I don't know if they were sniffing blood and trying to get a big goal difference, but they went for it, and it was the most remarkable end to a game I've had all season. I still maintain it's one of the greatest moments we've had in a save. And I was flying about all over the place. I don't often get that excited about odd games, but I was very excited about that one. It was then brought back down to a crushing blow though. A 3-0 defeat against Portadown, who seemed to this season have the better of us. Whether it was the 1-0 win at the start of the season when we battered them, the big cup victory, or that one, I mean, I can have no complaints. They absolutely destroyed us second half. First half was a relatively even game. We arguably should have been one up, but Alex Gorn put us to the sword and we were comfortably beaten. Into December though, and largely been a really good month if I'm being honest. 2 results I didn't expect to get, and one that I probably would have expected. So overall, I think we're a point up on my aggregate. We'll see how we end the month. We got a draw away at leaders Cliftonville at the time. A pretty good game defensively. David Parkhouse came out and put a screamer in the top corner, and I thought at the hour mark, here we go again, 1-goal defeat. But Jonathan Meckel-Hatton off the bench, 92nd minute equaliser. And we are becoming a team full of late goals, which I'm not going to complain about. A 2-1 win against Glenarvan, pretty similar circumstances. Convey's penalty cancelled out on a stroke of half-time before Matthew Buchanan smashed one in with 10 minutes to go off the bench. The perfect way to get him back in the good books after his red card before. A 2-1 defeat though at home to Carrick followed. This game was every bit as frustrating as the other one was exciting, because we were this time against 10 men with the last quarter of the game to go, and we somehow let in 2 goals. Marcus Dawes picked up the ball and just ran past the whole team twice. We got one back with Meckel-Hatton, but everything that happened in the Crusaders game for us went against us in the Carrick one. Really annoying. An expected 3-1 defeat at Linfield, no complaints about that. Good to see young Andrew Millart getting a goal though via the academy. And then the biggest result of the season so far is without doubt a comeback 2-1 win against Glentoran. Not just because we won the game, not just because we came back from behind, because Ethan Ross was brilliant in goal, but we rotated with this game against Dargview in mind. We brought the big men off the bench when we got 2-1 up, and as a result of that header from McDowell after Andrew Miller had equalised, we were in a really good position. A famous win, a great result. And now it's Dargview. An away trip on Boxing Day, but as you can see, it's our home form that is certainly helping us now. Can we turn the attention back to the road today? Dargview bottom, really struggling. We should have nearly everyone fit after the midweek fixture. I've rotated fully, we'll do the same again. We should be back to our first 11. Well, a couple of very big decisions today due to fatigue and due to the fixture congestion. We've got some tired players on the bench. There's not much I can do about that. Levingston, McDowell get a complete rest. Donaghy and Heaney are on the bench. But let's look at the team we have picked, because Aaron Jarvis will make his debut the day he joined the club. He's going to start in a deep line playmaker role. McGill, slightly tired, will play alongside Orkin at centre half. The rest, exactly as you'd expect it. We've had the chat with Leon Boyd about going 5 games without a goal, so hopefully he'll end his drought in this one. But the rest of the team is Ethan Ross in goal, Bell and Dobbin the fullbacks with McGill and Orkin as centre half, Crow and Jarvis the 2 centre mids. Let's see how they get on together for the first time. Convey and Latifa on the wings, Coffey behind Boyd. Let's just hope there's goals. On the bench, we've got Meckel-Hatton, we've got Millart, super subs in recent games, Buchanan as well on 4 goals for the year. Let's see how it goes. We're going to get into the Dargview match. They're bottom of the table at the moment, but this one is so important because, as I mentioned earlier, anything other than a defeat and we have virtually avoided automatic relegation. 4 changes made by Dargview, who are still searching for their top side, but if they can get an early red card like they did last time out, that would be absolutely lovely. Let's get into the team talk, tell the lads to impress us. Not much reaction at the moment, and it's always the worry after that big unexpected win against Glentoran. Are we now going to have a little bit of a lull? We switch the 2 centre-halves around. No, we get into the first half. Cross your fingers, because this game is one of the ones I targeted. Well, so far, looks to be a pretty good performance, maybe without the result to follow it. We've had more of the stats as we get in there from the corner. Crow's header tipped away and then cleared off the line. Latifah on the left again as it's brought away. Very wide pitch, very big pitch. Bruised thigh for Coffee. He's going to play the lot, I think. With 35 minutes gone, it's an even-ish game, but we've probably had the slightly better of the chances. I take 0-0 at half-time. Let's keep strong. Let's keep in the game and see what we can do in the second half. As I said before, a draw keeps that gap at 14 points. I'd never guarantee that we'd avoid the playoff for relegation, but if we can keep it in our own hands, give ourselves a chance, I think we've got to be pleased. Into the second half, a boring game, but I'll take it. More boring means less goals conceded. And as the second half continues, I think we're starting to see a pattern here, which is I've replaced the table for the players of Dargview. Lots of fatigue because they've got more that played in midweek. So for us, we should have the fresher legs. We have probably got the slightly bigger squad than them, even if it's not higher quality overall. So let's see what changes we can make. Daniel McGill is going to be replaced by Donaghy at the back. Not going to worry about him playing half an hour. It'll be fine in 2 days. The big question here is whether or not taking people off now will be enough for midweek. I'm not sure it will. Let's switch Orkin and Donaghy back. Neither of them are really great as the cover, but it will do. I'm looking at the knock that Coffee's got. I'm not sure he's worth replacing. So let's give it another 10 minutes, and then for the last 15, we'll throw on fresh legs if we need to. But everyone on the pitch is relatively fit, in relatively good condition. And looking at them, they're a bit more in a struggle. So 15 to go. Let's see out this highlight. Then we'll make the other subs. As dobbing into Latifah. Wouldn't mind a 1-0 away win. If there's ever a time to bring back 1-0 to the Distillery, this is certainly it. Though Wade is on the counter and it looks like going the other way at the moment. Wade getting down the left. Dobbin does well. What a player he's been this season. Umdenard about bringing him in due to Murphy, but really improved in training and might be one of those first ones to get a big sale. As Boyd goes back to Donaghy, the only sub so far. Jarvis has done really well in the middle. Got to praise him. Through to Coffee, the half-injured man. Goes for the dink, which was ambitious. And he's out for a goal kick. Now the subs can be made. Really pleased with how Jarvis is doing. Not going to worry about keeping him fit for midweek. Let's just have a look at who we can bring on. We have got attacking subs in the form of Buchanan for Latifah. Boyd again, really struggling at the moment. Going to bring on Michael Hatton for him. He scored a lot of late goals this season. Despite Jarvis's good performance, I'm going to drop Coffee into that holding role. Miller will come on as the number 10. He's fitter than Heaney at the moment, and he scored a lot more goals this season. Crow could be rested too, but I'm going to leave it 5 more. Keep 1 sub in case of injury or whatever else. We've got 15 to go. It's 0-0. Can we nick the winner? I don't want to really press for the game. You can see we've dominated the stats. We've encouraged the lads to get them happier, and we're on the front foot. Oh, that's a red card. That is an absolutely horrid challenge. I don't want to bring on Trickett for 5 minutes here because it's not worth the big appearance fee, but I am going to make another sub. Killian Healy is going to replace Crow, who's knackered. 5 minutes there as the Mazzala. He might be able to do a job. Let's go positive because when I've stayed balanced, we've generally been caught before. But 0-0, not a disaster at all here. Might be one of our first clean sheets of the season. I think the last one might have even been Dargview. And we keep that gap to 14 points. Would have liked the win, probably deserved it based on the stats, but a good result keeps us further away and keeps getting points on the board. And here we are for fitness test time. No chance for Barry Coffey, who is out injured for this one and the next as well. But we have got a squad that is fairly big. So hopefully, even if it relies on youngsters, we can put out a relatively similar side to the Glentoran game and maybe get a result. But Ballymena, hang on a minute. Ballymena are top of the league. Now, I know that we've got to be careful here because Larne are 5 games behind everyone. They've been in the European group stages. they've done alright to be fair as well. Couple of draws against Rapid Vienna and Ludogorets, beat Dinamo Tbilisi. They picked up points, didn't embarrass themselves at all. But it does mean that they're now a million games behind everyone and will almost certainly go on and win the league later. But we have got to focus on our game today. Ballymena are at home. They're top of the league. They were top of the championship 2 years ago and battering us there. What are they going to do in this one? Let's see who's fit. I'm imagining nobody. So from our starting 11, Jarvis, to be fair, has made it, as have Boyd and Latifa. Back in a minute with the other 7 changes. Well, here we are. It's a very rotated side, and it is similar to the one that played against Glentoran. Suspension for James Convey, who would have been fit as well, but we've got another game in 2 days, so it does mean he'll be fit for that at least. The top 2 at home 2 days apart, a little less than ideal, but let's have a look at the lineup we've gone for in this one. Again, McGill, the only player who's not fully fit. Both defenders on the bench are youth players, but at least all the other players can play centre-half, so that's something. It's Ethan Ross who keeps his place in goal. McGill is joined by McDowell, with Donaghy covering at left-back again, and McCabe over on the right for the second time. Levingston back in alongside Jarvis in midfield, Latifa on the right, Trickett in on the left, and Heaney behind Leon Boyd up front. Through to the game we go. We've picked up a big point already. Can we add to it today? Because I'd imagine every squad is going to be as knackered as ours. At least we haven't got the same fiasco as last year in FM, where the same tired squad would be put out time and time again by the AI manager. It's 6 changes for Ballymena United. Kevin Horlock's side still pretty good, as you can tell from them being top. But it is tight at the top, and there are teams dropping points. So let's go and see if we can catch them off guard, catch them with a little bit of arrogance. I'm going to do what I did against Glentoran with this level of side. I'm going to drop to a cautious mentality, going to try and sit in for a little while. And I'll just hope that we can keep the score down as Donaghy at left back to McDowell, into Jarvis, and he's got support behind him. I have incidentally got my eye on a left back who's out of contract at the end of the season. Would either be a replacement for Bell if he gets picked up, or a potential backup who can play other positions. I'm not sure that we're going to get that one done yet. As Quigley gets the ball forward, McGill clears downfield, no one able to do anything with it. Stewart goes wide to Smith though. He carries forward for Ballymena. We did have scares early in that Glentoran game too. 2 offside goals ruled out in the first 10 minutes. As Todd goes forward to McGovern, is it going to be the same again? Stewart goes wide to O'Connor. Not sure we'll get an offside with this deeper line. Back to Gray. Jarvis brings him down. Had a great debut, but unfortunately it's a penalty kick and he might have cost us. He's not match fit yet. We've got to give him leeway, but this isn't going to be helpful. Maloney steps up into the bottom corner. And 3 minutes gone, Ballymena lead. I think that's our chances of a point gone. I guess the good news elsewhere, as we return on the right with nearly 20 minutes gone, Latifa pouring forward, is that Dargview are behind at Portadown. So that 12th place looking out of sight again. Was that a penalty on Heaney? I think we might have been unlucky there because it was a little bit clumsy if nothing else, and the fact that's all that was shown suggests that they might have thought it was a penalty too. Portadown have doubled their lead, but as of Crusaders against Linfield, the gap to the relegation playoff is just 2 points. And let's be honest, it's a big battle down there. Both teams below us getting a point a game or more. It is a really good effort from all of the sides. Bar Dargview have been atrocious. Everyone else in the league has actually been good. As McGill picks the ball up and goes long. Boyd's never going to get there. Just feel like he needs to end his goal drought. If he can have a run of 3 or 4 games now, I feel like we'd be back in form. Maybe get up a few points. As McCabe finds McGill. Out wide to Latifa, but we're so deep and we're having to carry the ball for such a long distance. So Latifa takes on 2. Eventually goes back to McCabe. It's not a particularly coherent performance yet. As Jarvis trying to make up for that penalty. It's not a bad ball towards Boyd. He's in 1-on-1. And on another day he scores that. If he's in confident form, that goes in. But that one straight at the keeper. 1 minute added on. Can we score from the corner? Be a perfect time to equalise if Levingston can find a Distillery head. Donaghy's up, loses out. McGovern will bring it away. And I think that'll be it for the half. Unless, can he go all the way here? McGovern over halfway. Jarvis does really well. And despite conceding a penalty, which I know is a big moment, he's actually had a pretty good game. So we're going to tell the lads to get revenge. We've got most of them inspired and motivated. Going to come out balanced. Let's go for the game now. 1-0, but it's still anyone's match. You've got to say, as we think about subs now due to fitness, Dargview are down. They're 4-0 behind at Portadown. And yes, we would maybe consider it disappointing to only get a point against them. As Boyd's into the box, shots deflected. and it's into Hassan's hands. But just keeping them on that winless run is so crucial. They are definitely going to be down there. As McGill heads away to Heaney. Wide to Trickett. Can we nick something here as Boyd's in again? Finally gets in one-on-one. And he doesn't take the chance. Leon Boyd, I have never seen you have a spell like this. 6 games without a goal now. And doesn't look like he can hit a barn door. I've got to bring Michael Hatton on, because we can't waste chances like that. The good thing is, though, we're starting to create them. Jarvis has played a game and a half in 2 days. He's knackered. Miller will come on for him. Levingston and Heaney will drop a roll apiece. We're also going to take off Donaghy at left back, who struggled. In fact, I might even put him centre half. I'm going to. McGill can be the one to have the rest. We're going to go stopper and cover as such. And then at left back, it will be young Leon McNichol. Probably not played a first team game for 2 years, maybe 2.5. But he is okay, and he's got a good personality. And then moving forward, can we bring anyone else on? I'm not so sure at the minute. Maybe Latifa for Buchanan soon. It's one that has worked previously. But I'm just going to leave it. 3 changes made, 25 to go. We're starting to create those chances. But we need Michael Hatton to take them. Wasn't done last time, as Dargview have scored 2 goals. Let's make the final 2. Latifa off, Buchanan on. That'll be on the right wing. Trickett off. Grego Cox on. That'll be on the left wing. And Grego Cox is going to change role. Inverted winger on support for him. We'll go positive with 5 to go if we're still behind. But let's just give the lads some encouragement, as it's Ballymena on the front foot. Big ball down the right, which McNichol deals with on our left-hand side. Hamilton gets there, though, and finds Stewart. Millar nicks it. Now we've got the counter. Get up the pitch. Get the ball forward. You've got an overlap. Grego Cox is the man making a run. Can't remember the last time he played either. Into the box. It doesn't matter. Oh, it's another great chance gone. This is turning into the first game of the season all over again. How many great chances are we going to miss? How are these front 2 not scoring? As Buchanan can put him in again here. Michael Hatton, please, for the love of God. Someone's finally scored one. Great ball through Matthew Buchanan. And at the 5th time of asking from a clear-cut chance, we finally take one. It's 1-1. It's a very deserved goal. Now we've got to cling on to it, because again, a point would be another good result. Keep things flowing. Keep us moving forward. But is it going to be heartbreak? King goes long. Donaghy tries to deal with it. Not had a great game back there, albeit he's been out of position for the most part. Gets it into Levingston though, and Heaney. We look stronger since the goal. Buchanan gets it forward. McGuhatton's got the confidence. He's in one-on-one. Against the keeper, he scores. Top of the league, you're having a laugh. Ballymena are trailing after the early lead. It is 2-1 Lisburn Distillery. This feels like a big 5 minutes. Now can we hold on? As Stewart gets it forward, Buchanan deals with it well. And this is why I make no apologies for the first half. It's about staying in games, stopping those goals going in at the other end. And now we're giving ourselves chances late in matches. That superior fitness, that strong young bench, and it's really having an impact, as Buchanan made a real impact here. Tries to find Andrew Miller. Rogers does well. Back to his goalkeeper, Hassan. What an impact off the bench those two have made. And now, Ballymena struggling to get out, like they do eventually with Story. To Maloney. Good interception from young McNichol. Levingston mops up for Donaghy and Heaney. To Miller. To Michael Hatton. The football's flowing now. Look at the confidence. Heaney to Buchanan. Set one up. Sets another one up. Michael Hatton has a hat-trick. What an appearance that is off the bench. Neither of them score when they're starting. But those two, they've changed the game. I think, 3 assists for Buchanan, 3 goals Michael Hatton, 3-1 Lisburn Distillery, and we beat the leaders. Trouble? What trouble? We are not getting relegated this year. Given what's happened in the last month or so, with the loanees that have been recalled, with the players that are maybe going to go out on loan from our club in the next month, we are going to have to show deadline day. I think it's going to be a busy January. It's another hectic schedule in terms of fixtures, and we have got the champions at the end of it. The 30th of January is that one. Deadline day is the day after. Those are the two we're going to be back for. But let me know what you thought of those performances, what you think of our season so far, and with the gap being 5 points now, do you think we're going to survive? Do you agree with me that Dargview have gone? And did you enjoy the episode? If you did, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM23 content. But we'll be back here in a couple of days' time. The Champions and Deadline Day is a very big episode. But in the meantime, we've got a head coach season to finish, and tomorrow is going to be a big one.